In one of the last videos, we took a look at SimLab's upcoming wheelbases and learned that the Dutch company is positioning itself as a premium brand and will be able to offer almost every sim racing accessory from a single source in the future. Today we're looking at a real Halo product, the Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS Formula 1 Team Sim Racing Steering Wheel 2024. I'll just call it the AMG F1 wheel for the rest of this. That's okay with you, right? This one is really special because we as sim racers get the chance to get a licensed, faithful replica of an F1 wheel designed and optimized by the F1 engineers of a multiple world champion. Each of these wheels is hand-built and made for real fans, so of course it comes at a price. True to the Mercedes slogan, the best or nothing. Will this wheel live up to that, and is it worth it? We talk about what you get, installation, features, functions, and how different sim racing titles feel with the wheel. We also included YouTube video chapters if you're interested in a particular topic. Let's get started. Welcome back to Overtake. I'm Michel and I was very skeptical when I saw the price of over $2,600 as there are plenty of wheels on the market that offer similar designs and features on paper and sometimes cost $1,000 less. We're talking Formula open wheel style with a 4.3 LCD display and SimHub support. Asher Racing, McLaren Artura Ultimate, Bavarian SimTech, Omega Pro, Cube Control, CSX3, Azotec Invicta, GSI, just to name a few. But as soon as I unpacked it, I realized that it was aimed at a different audience. Unlike those mentioned, this is a real F1 wheel, or rather it uses the CAD data of the real wheel and has authentic rotary encoders and dials, the mono push-pull shifter and the clutch used in the F1 car. Another big difference is that the AMG F1 wheel has a full carbon fiber shell. We learned with the VPG Mustang wheel that such a design transmits the effects and frequencies of force feedback much better through the shell into the hands. And this is 100% true here. Weighing just 1,129 grams and 1,240 grams including the hub, it is also very light for a wheel with a display. In addition to the wheel, the package includes the Lumberg to USB connector, a 3-meter USB extension, which is not visible in the footage, it's hanging in the office, and a toolkit, screws, sticker sets, and even an alternative encoder knob. The last two items show a lot of attention to detail and fan service, as the encoder and alternative sticker set allow you to change the wheel to George Russell's layout. Especially with Hamilton's move to Ferrari, the Mercedes fan might be tempted to do so. SimLab allows adjustments to be made to both the mono shifter and the clutch. The travel of the clutch pedal can be adjusted with a set screw, and the shift pedal is supplied with a combination of magnets of different strengths to adjust the activation force required in a wide range up to 900 grams. So far this has worked for me. Everything has a pleasant pressure point and very short throw here on the shifter. A click or tap on the subscribe button of our YouTube channel would help us a lot if you like our content, and don't forget to like and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you so much. The AMG F1 wheel also has 14 buttons and 9 rotaries. The latter have quite a strong pressure point. I would say they feel almost twice as heavy as most other wheels available. These are very close to the real thing on the F1 car, and of course this has to do with preventing incorrect inputs and the fact that you are driving with gloves on most of the time. The silicone rubber grips are also designed with the use of gloves in mind. Speaking of incorrect inputs, we also see the so-called magic buttons on the back, which are included with the 14 buttons. One of these buttons acts as an override for the brake balance in the real car, allowing it to be set to 90% forward at the touch of a button to quickly bring the brakes and tires up to temperature. At Baku 2021, Hamilton accidentally left it on during the standing restart and missed the braking point. I always find the rear buttons very useful, for example, for the menus or black box functions. Unfortunately, as SimLab is going for a 1-to-1 replica style here, there's no 7-way funky switch, which is often very useful for the multi-function displays or menus of various sim racing titles. VPG has 2 of these on their Mustang wheel, but it lacks any thumb encoders, and the 9 rotaries on the AMG F1 wheel somehow make up for that. However, one solution would be for manufacturers to offer 2 versions in the future. A replica version and a SimRacing enhanced version maybe. After all, the pressure point of the buttons has also been adjusted downwards as the SimRacer is confronted with fewer G-forces compared to a real Formula 1 car obviously. In terms of looks, materials and workmanship, the wheel is really something. You are holding a real piece of motorsport technology in your hands and you feel that. There are few traces of glue and the carbon structure of the individual elements is uneven and has some imperfections. You can tell it's handmade. The 4.3-inch screen looks slightly elevated, giving it an almost 3D look when you look at it, and it has a sleek protective glass that runs across the front of the wheel. But let's get on with the installation and software. SimLab has an overview of compatible wheelbases, and of course we are dealing with a product intended for use on a PC. We have fitted it with SimCube in the office, and in the example here in the footage you can see also here in my rig on a SimMagic quick release. If you also use other wheels on your wheelbase, the 6.5 centimeter long hub can be a problem as the seating position shifts quite a bit. SimLab will be releasing their own wheelbases this year, that's their plan at least, and it's likely that the AMG wheel will also be connected directly via the existing port that is in the back. It is already intended and also described to remove the Lumberg connection in the user manual. The instruction manual in general is very straightforward. We start by installing an LCD drive on our PC, which is not digitally signed, and using the Windows game controller settings to check that the buttons are working and to calibrate the clutch pedal, which is the only access that this wheel provides, and which is also necessary if we're going to adjust the clutch travel that I mentioned. We then installed the SimLab Race Director software, where we manually added the AMG wheel, and from then on we had access to various functions and the firmware updates. Unfortunately, the latter requires a small extra tool that is not yet included in the Race Director software. The wheel also offers SimHub support, but we'll get to that in a moment. In any case, we need Race Director to change the function of the encoders between multi-position or rotary, i.e. plus and minus. SimLab calls it positional or simple. You can already see that the middle rotary switch is excluded from the setting as it acts as a function selector. Positions 11 and 12, for example, have controls for the brightness of the LCD screen and the 25 programmable LEDs. Position 9 has a ref minigame for measuring reaction times during a launch, and position 2 is quite important. It controls the clutch bite point, which can be elementary for standing starts. Especially the Porsche Cup and iRacing benefits from a well-adjusted clutch bite point. On many wheels you have two clutch pedals. In this case, one of the buttons becomes a function in mode 2 of the position switch to get 100% and use the clutch for the rest of the travel, in this case 40. So you just press the button, let it go, and then quickly let also the manual clutch pedal go. Yeah, that works well so far. I managed to get some good starts off the line. If you want to adjust the bite point on the fly without having to switch to the software, SimLab also offers a button combination that allows you to make step-by-step adjustments. SimLab offers a choice of 8 dashboards of different racing cars and classes. The AMG W15 F1 car is always selected by default. There is no editor or advanced customization for fields and such, just a few options for the fuel gauge, for example. The 25 LEDs can be programmed, but for the whole thing, it is a bit fiddly in the software to program everything. For the price, it would have been nice to have more preset profiles for popular cars in the sim racing world. In principle, you can also place flag LED, TC activation, ABS, near opponents, and much more on the side LEDs there. The LED profile of the AMG F1 car does not fit really to any other car. The Race Director telemetry doesn't even work with F1 24, the only game where you can officially drive the W15. This is where SimHub comes in, and it is commendable that SimLab gives us the opportunity to get even more out of the wheel in addition to their own software, because the community and the SimHub developer have created something ingenious here over the years. I immediately created a simple LED profile based on the rev band of the car that you're driving, and that works for the most part. We also have access to several other displays, such as the lovely dashboard. This is just amazing. And on our website, overtake.gg, There are countless other variations in the download section, from matching dashboards for the RSS GT Legends to an F1 24 optimized dashboard that looks like Lewis Hamilton's real one from the last season, even showing the correct values like hybrid state of charge, and also when you change brake balance it will also show on the display. And in general, Overtake DG is a great website to visit. You get all the news, the racing club, premium benefits, discount codes, you name it. So with that SimHub support, the wheel also works with F1 24 and other titles where you might otherwise have problems. You shouldn't run both softwares at the same time, either Race Director from SimLab or SimHub. Let's move on to the driving experience with the AMG F1 wheel. Ergonomically, there is nothing really to complain about. I mean, this is made by absolute professionals. And even though I prefer dual clutch pedals, and I personally prefer also 290 or 300 millimeter diameter wheels over 280, but yeah, this is of course a personal taste. Due to the light weight and size, micro corrections during driving are very easy, and all buttons and encoders can be operated effortlessly while driving, so everything is in reach pretty much of your thumbs. Although there are only a few really good sim racing experiences with F1 cars, the wheel benefits from the fact that most GT3 cars prototypes and also the popular GTP, LMH and LMDH cars use this form factor of wheels today, and will continue to be what we see a lot of in sim racing for the years to come. But the wheel is also great for a lap in a classic race car, of course. Apart from the missing 7-way switches, the wheel is easy to operate and just fun to drive. The SimMagic Alpha U has sent really fine, detailed force feedback through the carbon body. It's really enjoyable. This brings us to the score, and I give the SimLab AMG wheel an 8.5 out of 10. The engineering is impressive, and the goal of making a real F1 wheel accessible to sim racers has been achieved 100%. However, in practice and at the price, which I fully understand why it has to be that price and why it has to be so high, it will be more of a collector's item, I feel like, and there are simply wheels on the market that offer more sim racing functionality for less money. The lack of more profiles and the room for improvement in the software combined with the price lead to a small devaluation. However, for F1 and especially AMG fans with a deep pocket, this is worth a look, and SimLab have shown us what they can deliver. It's going to be very exciting this year when they release new hardware. What about you? Would you buy such a wheel, or do you even own the AMG F1 wheel? Then tell us about your long-term experience down below in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this review. Here you can watch the video of another nice replica wheel from VPG, which fits quite well as the Mustang GT3 for Le Mans Ultimate is coming out next week. See you next time. Bye bye.